Good morning everyone, it's Chandrakala and today we will start third section of our second chapter, that is conservation of energy. Most of the things we have already discussed, so we will see once again here. Our first topic is law of conservation of energy. Or in other words, principle of conservation of energy. We have seen that energy is found in many forms and any one form of energy can be converted into another form of energy. We have covered both the topics, different forms of energy and conversion of energy. That means we know that any form of energy can be converted into another form of energy. And we have also discussed law of conservation of energy, which states that total energy of universe remains constant or conserved. That means the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one form of energy into another form of energy. But the total sum of energy always remains constant or conserved. Similarly, we have seen one more thing, that is law of conservation of mechanical energy. Conservation of mechanical energy. We have seen that mechanical energy is of two types, that is potential energy and kinetic energy. If any one form of energy will increase, then the another form of energy will decrease by the same amount, but the total sum of potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant. This also we have seen. Mechanical energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy is equal to constant under conservative forces, or in other words we can say in the absence of frictional forces, because in the case of the friction force some amount of energy will be converted into heat or sound. So we have ignored here that, and we have assumed that we are just taking into consideration the initial point and the final point. We have already discussed about conservative forces. That means in the absence of any frictional force, the total mechanical energy of the system remains constant. That is, the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant. And our next topic is we have to prove this, that the sum of kinetic and potential energy always remains constant. So we have to now prove that the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy remains constant. And for that we will consider one object at some height from the ground. If this is ground, then suppose one object is here at this point. Let this point be A, and one middle of this full height is B, and this point is C. We have taken 3 points A, B, C. Now initially the object is at point A and it is held at rest. That means right now it is not doing any kind of motion. Right now it is at rest initially here at point A. When we will leave it freely, then it will start falling in the downward direction due to gravity, and after some time it will reach to point B, and after some time finally it will reach to point C. Okay, so what we have to do, this point A is at height h from the ground, and the point A and B are at a distance x. That means if the total height is h and if this height is x, then the remaining height will be from B to C. That will be h minus x. Okay, now what we will do, we will calculate potential energy and kinetic energy at all these 3 points. So our first point at point A. Okay, we are saying that initially the object was held at rest. That means initially the speed or the velocity is equal to 0. So we will do two things. First one is we will calculate kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, that is half mv square, and here v is equal to 0 initially at point A, so that is equal to half m into 0 square, that is equal to 0. So in this case kinetic energy initially was 0 because speed is 0. Now we will see potential energy at the same point A. Since the object has been held at a height h, so obviously the potential energy at a point from the earth's surface which is at height h, the potential energy will be equal to mgh. So here the potential energy is equal to mgh. Mg is force and h is displacement. This we have already discussed. Okay, now we will see at point B. At point B also we will calculate both kinetic energy and potential energy. So first of all we will calculate kinetic energy. But the problem is here the velocity was 0. But as soon as the object will start falling in the downward direction, it will acquire some velocity. That means here the velocity will not be 0. Here the body will have some velocity. And to calculate kinetic energy, first of all, we will have to calculate the velocity. So we will use one of our equation of motion, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. V is the final velocity, that is velocity at point B, and u, that is initial velocity, is equal to 0 and 2 is 2, and a is acceleration, and here it is acceleration due to gravity, so it will be g, and s is displacement. So displacement of the body from point A to B is equal to x. The body has displaced x distance from A to B, so the displacement is equal to x. So from here v square is equal to 2gx. Now we can calculate kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So kinetic energy is equal to half m. Instead of v square we can write here 2gx, that is 2gx. 2 will cancel out each other, and finally kinetic energy is equal to mgx. Okay, now again we will calculate potential energy. Potential energy is due to height from the ground. So point B is at a height h minus x from the ground. Okay, so the point B is at a height h minus x from the ground. So here the potential energy will be mgh, and h is h minus x. So here at point B the potential energy is equal to mg h minus x. Why h minus x? Because point B is at a height h minus x from the ground. So from here we have kinetic energy and potential energy. Both we have found. Okay, now we will see at point C. Okay, at point C, again when the body will strike to the ground or reach on the ground, it will have some velocity, and we will have to find out that velocity again. So again we will use second equation of motion, that is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Okay, we want final velocity, so final velocity will be v square. Initial velocity when it was started at from point A, that is equal to 0. 2 is 2, a will be converted into small g, and s, this time the body has covered h distance from A to C. Now we do not have to do anything with B. For this case, our body has been started from A and it has reached at point C. That means initially the velocity was 0 and the body has now covered full h distance. So here the displacement is equal to h. So again we got the value of v square. So we will calculate kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, that is equal to half m. Instead of v square we will write 2gh. Again 2 will cancel out and it will be equal to mgh. Done. Second thing is potential energy at point C, that is on ground. Potential energy is equal to 0 since h is equal to 0. Here also you can write since h is equal to h minus x at point B, so that later we cannot forget it. Okay, so here at point C h is equal to 0, so potential energy is equal to mgh, that is equal to mg into 0 since h at C is equal to 0, that is height at C is equal to 0, so potential energy is equal to 0. So that means we have calculated potential energy and kinetic energy for all the 3 points. Okay, now what we have to prove is we have to see the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. At point A, we have calculated kinetic energy, we have calculated potential energy. So let's see, mechanical energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. Potential energy is mgh and kinetic energy is 0. That means is equal to 0. That means the total mechanical energy is equal to mgh. Okay. And in the second case, at point B, we will again calculate mechanical energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. Potential energy is mgh minus x. So mgh minus x, and kinetic energy is mgx. Kinetic energy is mgx. So plus mgx. So from here it is mgh minus mgx plus mgx. So again the total mechanical energy is mgh. Okay. Now the third case, at point C, we have calculated kinetic energy and potential energy. So again, mechanical energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. Potential energy is equal to 0 and kinetic energy is equal to mgh. So that is equal to mgh. That means total mechanical energy is equal to mgh. So what we have concluded from here? We have concluded that when the object was at point A, its total mechanical energy was mgh. And this mechanical energy was in the form of potential energy only, because at that time the kinetic energy was 0 because the speed was 0. So all of its energy was in the form of potential energy. And we have seen that if the object is held at some height at rest, then its whole energy is in form of potential energy only. So total mechanical energy is mgh, which will be in the form of potential energy. And when the object is free to fall in the downward direction due to gravity, it will move in the downward direction, and at some point B, after traveling x distance, it will have potential energy also because it is at some height from the ground, and it will have kinetic energy also because it is moving in the downward direction. That means at point B, we will have both kinetic energy and potential energy. And we want sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. And when we calculated sum, we again got mechanical energy is equal to mgh. That means at point B also, the total mechanical energy will be mgh, but in both forms. That means half of the energy will be in the form of potential energy and half of the energy will be in the form of kinetic energy. Similarly, at point C, we have calculated kinetic energy and potential energy, and the total mechanical energy is again equal to mgh. But this time, this whole mechanical energy mgh is in the form of kinetic energy, because this time potential energy is 0 because height is 0. So the whole energy is in the form of kinetic energy only. That means when a body moves in the downward direction, initially at maximum height, its whole energy is in the form of potential energy. As it moves in the downward direction, its potential energy decreases because height decreases, and its kinetic energy increases. Why increases? Because in class 9th we have studied one concept, that is free fall of a body. And we have seen that if an object is left freely at some height, then due to gravity it moves in the downward direction. Not only moves, but it is also having an acceleration, and that acceleration is acceleration due to gravity. That means, and what is acceleration? Acceleration is increase in speed or increase in velocity. That means if the body is moving in the downward direction due to gravity, then its velocity will increase, and when the velocity will increase, then kinetic energy will increase. That means if the object is moving in the downward direction, its potential energy decreases and kinetic energy increases, because when a body moves under the force of gravity, then it accelerates. That means it increases its speed, and if the speed or the velocity will increase, then the value of half mv square will increase. So potential energy is decreasing and kinetic energy is increasing. That means the amount of potential energy which has decreased is converted in increase in the kinetic energy. So as soon as it is moving in the downward direction and reach at point C, at point C, the whole of the potential energy, because it was decreasing now, so whole of the potential energy has been converted into kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is equal to the potential energy which the body was initially having. Okay, and similarly, when the object moves in upward direction, or if the object is thrown in upward direction, if we have to throw an object in upward direction, then we have to work against gravity. So that means the body has to move against gravity. That means we have to do some amount of work here, and that work, that means you have to give some force. Work means force, so that means we have to give some amount of force. So the amount of kinetic energy which we will give, as the height from the ground will increase, that kinetic energy will change into potential energy, because as the height will increase, its potential energy will increase, and kinetic energy will decrease, because that kinetic energy is only changing into potential energy. So if the potential energy is increasing, then kinetic energy will decrease, and when the kinetic energy will decrease, then velocity will decrease, because we are moving against gravity, and at one point finally this velocity will become zero. Hence the kinetic energy of the object will become zero, and the object will come to rest at that point for one instant. That means just for one moment it will come to rest. Now rest means same condition. Here again we reached at the same condition. Now the object is at rest. Now due to gravity the object will move in the downward direction. Again the potential energy will decrease and the kinetic energy will increase. That means when we throw an object in upward direction, its kinetic energy decrease and potential energy increase, and when the object come back in the downward direction, then its potential energy decrease and kinetic energy increases. Now we will see two more points here. First point is that you can write down in the form of note also, that if we have to throw an object up to height h, then we have to give initially some kinetic energy, and let that kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. And when the object will reach at the maximum height, this time it will have only potential energy, and that is equal to mgh. Now it will not have kinetic energy, because for some instance it will come at rest. So that means how much velocity we should give an object so that it can cover an height of h. It can reach up to height h. That velocity we can calculate from here, because whatever kinetic energy we have given here, same kinetic energy only converting into potential energy. That means the magnitude of this kinetic energy and potential energy must be equal, because if here you are giving 20 joule of energy, then same 20 joule of energy is converting into potential energy. So here the potential energy must also be 20 joule. That means both this kinetic energy and potential energy must be equal. So from here we can say, if kinetic energy is equal to potential energy, then half mv square is equal to mgh. Then we can say v square is equal to, take this 2 here, 2gh. Therefore v is equal to under root 2gh. That means initially we have to give minimum root of 2gh. This much velocity we should initially give to an object if we want to make it reach up to height h. This is our first point, the minimum velocity given to the object if it has to cover height h. This is our first note. And our second important note is force of friction. In all these conditions we have avoid this friction force. This initially also we have studied that mechanical energy remains constant in absence of frictional forces only. That means everywhere we have not taken into consideration this force of friction. But is it true that we can reduce friction up to 0? No, obviously. That means friction force will be always there. Here you are saying that if you are giving kinetic energy 20 joule, then the potential energy should be 20 joule. But how it should be 20 joule? You see, if the object is moving in upward direction or downward direction, atmosphere will be present here. That means air is present and air will apply a friction force on the body. That means which we call the force of buoyancy or buoyant force. That will be exerted by fluids. Fluids means air. Air will also exert a buoyant force which will be against the motion of your object. And that there some amount of energy will be lost in the form of heat. We have ignored here. That means our second point is whatever we have said till now, that is mechanical energy remains constant. That is true only in the absence of force of friction. Otherwise, some amount of kinetic energy also changes into heat and sound. This we have ignored because in physics everywhere we study about ideal situations, but really in practical life ideal situations are not possible. Always any machine cannot have 100% efficiency. Always some amount of energy will be lost. That means obviously it is not true that here the total kinetic energy will be mgh and whole of the kinetic energy will be converted into potential energy. All these things are true only in the ideal condition, that is in the absence of friction force. If you have seen a waterfall, then you have seen that if the water is falling from a very large height, then a large amount of sound is produced there. From where that sound is coming? That sound is coming from kinetic energy only. That means some amount of your kinetic energy is lost in the form of sound. And similarly, when it strikes to the ground and when it shows friction with the air, then some amount of energy will be lost in the form of heat. So from where did you get that heat? That heat is also gone from kinetic energy only. That means basically, practically, sum of kinetic energy and potential energy cannot be constant if the object is moving in the downward direction or upward direction. But in ideal condition, we consider that under conservative forces, that is in the absence of friction force, the total mechanical energy, that is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy, remains constant. Okay. And our last topic in this section is a graph given for conservation of mechanical energy, and this is very important topic from board point of view. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken one y-axis, we have taken one x-axis, and here this point can be origin, so it will be 0. On the y-axis we have taken energy, and on the x-axis we have taken height. Okay, so the first thing given is one straight line is given here. Straight line means like this. This is the straight line. That means this is the total mechanical energy. This line represents total mechanical energy, that is sum of potential energy and kinetic energy, and that is equal to mgh. Right now in our proof we have seen that at all points the sum of energies is equal to mgh. So this is the total energy where the energy is mgh. Total mechanical energy will remain constant again in the absence of friction forces. And one graph is given, that is this for potential energy, one graph is given like this. Okay, and similarly for kinetic energy also one graph is given. Okay, so this is representing kinetic energy. Okay, this is potential energy and this is kinetic energy. Done. And some points are mentioned here. This is A, that means the same points which we have taken in our proof. This is point B and this is point C. This is the graph given. So what we have to get from here is total mechanical energy always remains constant. First thing. Second thing, potential energy increases as height from the earth's surface increases. See, here height is this much only, and here height is this much, and here height is this much. That means as the height will increase, potential energy will increase. That we also know, that as the height from the ground will increase, potential energy will increase. Similarly, as the height from the ground will decrease, kinetic energy will increase. This is one new thing, that as the height from kinetic energy will decrease, then height from the ground will decrease, then the kinetic energy will increase. Why? Reason we have already seen. When the object is moving in the downward direction, then its velocity increases. Velocity increases because it always suffers an acceleration due to gravity that is equal to 9.8 meter per second. In class 9th, we have seen that if an object is thrown freely from here or left freely from here, then at every second per second square, this is because acceleration, per second its velocity will increase by a value of 9.8, and if the velocity will increase, then obviously the kinetic energy will also increase. That's why as the height will decrease, then the kinetic energy will increase. So this is very important graph which we will remember. Rest of the things we will see in next class. Thank you.